Hey y'all, hey, welcome to another episode of the Wellness Plug TV. I am so excited today to have a special guest on here. Coach T is going to tell y'all some things and teach y'all some things because he's a strategist and he knows what he does. So I'm going to let him take the mic over and, of course, introduce myself, Naughty by nature. Of course, y'all know me and what I do and how I do it. I am your Wellness Plug. So I'm going to let him introduce himself. Hey, how you doing?
What's happening? What's happening? Thank you so much for inviting me on the show. I'm super excited to be talking with you, Nadia. To everybody that doesn't know, I am Coach T Spice. My real name is Talman Spicer, and I'm a mindset coach. And I'm on a mission to inspire and empower 1 trillion people to live a life by design instead of by default. And the key that I found to that designer lifestyle, the key that's going to open up that door, right, to live a life that you deserve, comes down to self-confidence. So what I do is I support people in developing a deep, meaningful relationship with themselves. And I do that in many different ways, from one-on-one coaching to group coaching to online courses and the whole 9 yards. I'm making a bunch of free content. I have a book called "Have the Guts to Follow Your Guts." Why
What?
safe is the biggest risk of all. And I ain't gonna stop. Can't stop, won't stop.
Can't stop. Whoa, why you doing the shoulders like how I be doing? That's what I be doing. Mm, mm. I
That's right. Harlem.
that is that is so nice. Okay, so I didn't know you were in that realm like that. That's a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So and I didn't know you had a book, so you definitely gonna have to tell us how to get that,
Oh,
in a minute. Okay, so tell me a little bit like how you get started in this because this not your regular type of mindset. I had to re-look over the page and and see that certified and all that.
yes, indeed. It's a story. You got some time?
Yes, we got some time.
Okay. How I got started was back in 2014. I was leaving school. I went to Fairleigh Dickinson. They call it Fairly Ridiculous, right? They call it Fairly Ridiculous because the tuition is ridiculous,
Mm,
ridiculously high. So I'm leaving Fairly Ridiculous University with $150,000 in student loan debt,
wow,
right? And I would have hit him with a "when I get it, you get it" type of deal.
that's right.
Saying I don't have $150,000. When I get it, I'll call you. We'll work something out or whatever. But the problem was that my grandmother had co-signed on the loans, right? So if they couldn't get in contact with
Right.
me, I couldn't hit deadlines. They were gonna call and harass her, right?
Wow.
And I just, in my heart and in my soul, I didn't feel that that was fair. I knew she was
Mm-mm.
freaking out and all that stuff. She did stick her neck out for me to get this education, and it's not really her fault that I wasn't in a financial position to pay it back.
Right.
So I did everything I felt was in my responsible power to try to get somewhere with this, right? So I
Right.
called up Sally Mae, said, "Hey, Sally, I ain't got it. I don't got $150,000. You know what I'm saying? And I don't got 10K to pay you every month either.
That's right.
What can we work out?" She said, "Don't worry about it. We got you. We're gonna put you on the hardship program.
Mm.
Do is pay $4,000 a month."
What?
Yeah, and I'm fresh out of
Got my
college.
seat making noise.
Yeah, barely got a job. I don't even think I was paying $400 in rent at the time. So I mean, that solution was barely a solution at all.
Not realistic. Right.
Right. So I'm thinking, and one of the thoughts that crossed my mind was, well, let's say you was able to pay this $4,000. You're going to be paying this $4,000 for how long? What, the next 40 years? You're still accruing
That's right.
interest. So the loan amount is still growing. So what are you going to do? Work the next 40 years of your life,
That's
46
right.
years of your life, just to die in debt anyway? To still,
Right.
like, it didn't make sense to me, right? So I knew that that was the only way that that was going to happen if I continued to work in a 9 to 5. So I started looking for other options of income, and I became very attracted to entrepreneurship because there's uncapped earning potential. You know what I'm saying? You can make as much money as you want as long as you're willing to change and develop and provide more value to the marketplace. There's no limit, right? So I jump in with 2 feet.
Wow.
Jump in. I'm gonna start a business. I don't know what is going on, but I had an
Gotta
opportunity,
do something.
right? I had an opportunity to start a business. I had a mentor that had my back. I'm like, I'm with it, right? And at that point, I had an idea that positive thinking was going to be important.
That's right.
did not know how deep that went.
Right.
Right. So here's the deal. When I first started, I was approaching entrepreneurship as if I was an employee, meaning,
Mm.
yeah, meaning that I'm only thinking about what I need to do. I need to show up at a certain time, clock
Hmm.
in, do this, ABC, clock out, go home, live my life.
That's
Right.
right.
That's done
That
work
don't work.
right?
Don't work around these parts.
I learned the hard way. Employment, being an employee is probably more about doing.
That's right.
Being an entrepreneur is more about being. It's who you are,
Mm.
right?
That's
So
right.
I'm going into this thing, and everything's great at first. I ended up moving from Jersey to Idaho, and I had my team. I was hiring and training individuals to pretty much sell direct TV inside of Costco's, but
Okay.
it was like a franchising type of thing. So my
Hmm.
name was on all the bills, rent, all that stuff. Had
Wow.
my office, all of that, right? And I had a superstar team. We're making like 20 grand a week in the business.
Ooh.
So I'm reinvesting most of that, trying to get more better talent and grow the business.
Right, right, right.
And everything was great until it wasn't.
Mm.
So where I hit my wall was when I realized that I did not have an identity of my own. Like my entire
Mm.
life, until getting out of my hometown, until getting out of my comfort zone, my familiar zone, uh, was all my identity was wrapped up in all the familiar
That's
surroundings,
right.
the places, the people,
That's right.
all of the things. And I had a relationship, right?
Right.
Before I left Jersey, I had a girlfriend, and my relationship became long distance.
Right.
While I thought she'd be excited, we got this kid. She's trying to come over here. Let's rock it. Go ahead on now. So while I thought she would be excited, uh, she didn't like the living situation. So I moved out there with an assistant who happened to be female. We lived in
Wow.
the same apartment, 2 stories. I lived on the top floor. She lived on the bottom floor.
Hmm.
And while I'm trying to do all this entrepreneurial stuff, I'm trying to grow my business. I'm trying to be a leader. Anytime things got tough, sometimes you need
That's
somebody
right.
to vent to, somebody to lean on, somebody to express and release some of
That's
this.
right.
But I didn't have that. Anytime I would go to talk to her,
And she
it'd be an
wasn't there.
argument, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's a problem. It's all
Mm.
about her. Like I didn't have that outlet. I didn't have that connection or that support.
Hmm.
And the only person I felt like I would be able to go to, the number
Hmm.
one person. I have friends and family, and they did their best to be there for me. But none of them could understand
Nope.
coming from Jersey. Why the hell
Nope.
did you move
Entrepreneur.
to Idaho in the first place? Like I don't.
Are they trying to figure out what's going on?
Yeah, like I love you, I support you, and all that to the best. But there was a limit to how much they could support me
That's
because
right.
they didn't understand. They wouldn't have made that move
That's
themselves.
right.
So, going through this, it led me to a very dark period. Feeling unsupported, feeling all
Hmm.
alone.
Hmm.
I remember feeling stressed out, crying every single night.
Hmm.
Like I cried some of my most passionate tears at
That's
this
right.
point in my life, like screaming, Erling, just throwing up sometimes, like
Hmm.
it was crazy. And it got to a point where I'd been contemplating suicide, right?
Hmm.
And there was this one night in particular where I found myself on the top of the parking garage. I was connected to my office, fourth
Mm.
floor, directly across the street from City Hall in Boise, Idaho. And I found myself on the top, and I'm walking closer to the edge, and I'm thinking like, "Hey, bro, if you serious about this, this is your opportunity. This is your chance to
Wow.
do it now, right?" And there's tears in my eyes, and I'm just completely out of options. I feel like emotionally,
Right,
we
right,
make
right.
stories in our head where there might other be things, but for me, I felt done. I felt depleted, and I get to the edge, and I look over, and my body shifts, my weight shifts forward as if I'm gonna go, but I hesitate. Right?
Wow.
I thought about my grandmother. I thought
Mm.
about my grandmother, and I can't tell you why, but I'm glad I did. So instead of falling over the edge of the parking garage, I imagined it,
Hmm.
and I imagined me falling over the edge and racing towards the ground, eventually not being here anymore. And
Right, right.
what I realized in that moment is that I didn't actually want to die, right?
You wanted to end the other stuff.
Right. I just wanted a release of pressure.
Release. That's right.
Release of pressure. One
Mm,
things I wanted a release of pressure, and I wanted a reason big enough to
that's
go
right.
do all of
That's
this
right.
stuff.
Do
Because
stuff.
entrepreneurship is no
No, it's
right.
not.
You have to transform. You get to
Mm,
transform into that higher version of yourself.
that's
Now,
right.
one that's consistent, disciplined, visionary, creative, all of that. Somebody who's patient. All of
That's
these
right.
things you get to develop. So I needed
Mm-hmm.
a reason, and $150,000 just wasn't enough anymore. It wasn't a
Hmm.
good enough reason, right? So I needed a reason that was bigger than me, and it took me 7 years after that, several years, to figure out that making an impact, focusing on making an impact, and coming to the realization that my mission is to support other people in improving the quality of their lives, to keep going.
Oh.
So with that said, I learned that positive thinking, it's not enough to think positive.
Mm-mm. It's not.
You got to become positive.
Gotta become positive.
Right? I was waiting. I was
Mm,
used to do. I would use it as a tool. Right?
right.
I would wait until things got super negative, and I would be like, okay, now's the time. Think positive. Think positive. Think
It's
positive.
too late for that. Right.
Always too little, too late. Always too little, too late. So after going, turning my back on that business, coming back to the 9 to 5 lifestyle, and realizing that I just felt unfulfilled and like
Mm,
I was meaningless. I came back into the entrepreneur space, and this time I was gonna change who I was. Right, I
right.
wasn't gonna try to think
Got
positive.
to.
I was gonna feed my mind with different things, and that's what got me into all these different books, changing the music I listen to, changing the people I hang around, changing the language that I speak, the
That's
words that I,
right.
everything had to be rejuvenated, be redone, right?
Right.
And it's through that process and rebuilding my self esteem that I learned that I could do this for other people,
Mm,
right? So, I was training people in Idaho, so I knew that I could coach, right? But I didn't know that I could make a business out of it. But I had an idea. I saw some other coaches doing their thing. First thing I did was hire a coach, and I didn't know it at the time, but it was the most genius thing that I could have done.
and most people don't think like that. The first thing they do is try to figure out the waves on their own. Like
Hmm.
a lot of people don't believe that they need a coach. So we
Right.
already know a lot of people know how to be well, or they know what they can do to be well.
Hmm.
And yet it's just the things that need to be applied, right? And so I mean, because you can go to Google, you can say, hey, I want to lose weight. I want to be happy. I want to all those things, but if those things are not applied, and like, I'm glad you reached out to a coach or a mentor or somebody that probably helped you trigger your mindset right
Right. Yeah.
into what you're doing, because you was already doing it. You were already doing it to the level that you could, to your own capacity. And
Right.
you said you started seeing other people doing, like, hey, they coaching, and we don't know their background stories, but to implement your story, well, not even implement it, just put it in your design of
Hmm.
coaching itself, is going to take you a lot further,
Right.
because you actually witnessed being like,
Right.
oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah. I was my first client. I was my first client. And
Right.
and helped change my life. And I just love, like, for instance, gratitude, the power of gratitude. I used to
Mm,
write down 10 things I was grateful for every single day after going for a run. And I
mm-mm,
started meditating. I changed my diet, and just how I felt as a person just felt so valuable,
mm-hmm.
if not to anybody else, to me. But
Right.
but also I'm getting feedback from other people that's like, yo, your energy, I can't put my finger on it, but and the vibe doesn't lie. So I believe that your vibe attracts your tribe. Started surrounding myself with phenomenal people.
Mm-hmm.
I just felt like it would be a shame. It would be almost a crime. It would be criminal for me to not share my experience,
Mm.
share the tools that I was learning that was better in my life so much, coming from, about to commit suicide to, like, about to take over the world, saying change.
Right. Because somebody who make 150,000, I'm gonna be honest with you. I got friends and family and people that only make by 30 to 40, and you can barely live off that. So like you said, it's not about just financial stability and living a certain lifestyle that fulfills you. You needed support in that time, and the most support that we exclude all the time is self support. We always overlook that and look for other people to define who we are. It's insane because um you know, we always look for that pat on the back, the review, the association, and making ourselves look like or feel like we need to fit in somewhere when we the ones who are supposed to create lanes and helping people come and learn from us, not just learning from us per se, but um understanding what we go through. A lot of people go through certain things and they can't relate to it.
Mhm. Right. And it's detrimental. It is a very dangerous thing to do. So, it's important that we stop outsourcing certain
Mm.
things, like our security, our sense of self, our sense of importance. This cat is relentless. Come on, Rocket, go ahead. But yeah, but if we could just learn to generate certain things
Mhm,
within
mhm,
ourselves, and we could become self-sufficient, and I
mhm,
believe
mhm.
all of the tangible things that we want in this world will
That's right.
follow that, because you become attractive to wealth, you become attractive to the relationship that you want, you become attractive to the job. Everything that you want is dependent on your ability to give it to yourself. And that's like a weird paradox. How do I give something to myself that I do not have? But there's always, I think, an
Right.
intangible root to the tangible
That's
effect,
right.
right?
That's right.
Intangible cause to the tangible effect.
But it took a lot of courage. Like sounds like you good with being an introvert, and what is, like I'm an introvert, like you can move and maneuver around and be okay. So at some point for you as a person like that to hit rock bottom, that had to been a lot. You must have took, there was some build up and some hits for you
Mm,
to take, because like you said, it's not financial. It really wasn't based on a relationship neither. This was just a self awareness type thing where you needed to come to yourself. A lot of people say, oh, coming to something. No, coming to yourself to recognize your own abilities,
mhm.
right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So
You talking that talk.
I know, right? So that's good because like I said, especially being, a mindset coach, I'm personally not going to look for someone who just talk mindset, and confidence, because it's not always true. Like you just said earlier, what if I don't feel like that? What
Hmm.
if and that those things have to be sacred to me? I have to build on those things. It's just like it has to become a lifestyle, just like my wellness lifestyle has to be confident. I have to have confidence in my wellness lifestyle. I have to have confidence in my business lifestyle. I have to have confidence in my mother here, hood lifestyle. You got to be confident in lifestyles in order for them to grow. And then, like you said, you was your first, person. And then you didn't help you. So, and people can see that because I'm pretty sure your family and friends like, wait a minute, just a month ago, I know it took a while, but I'm just saying you still took those steps to getting to where you are.
Right, right. And it shows, right? It starts to sprout above the surface. I remember there was a time back in 2017 where, I don't know how I was using Facebook before, but I remember there was this one moment where I was like, I'm just learning so much and practicing so many different things. I'm bursting at the seams. Like, I don't want to be that person that's like on a soapbox and trying to tell everybody how they live their life. But I got my own social media platform, and I'm allowed to express myself on it however I want, right?
That's right.
Without directly singling out anyone. So
That's right.
it came to a point where it was like a stream of consciousness. Like if it crossed my mind, it
Wow.
crossed my timeline. I had no filter,
What?
and I started so many conversations. I started a lot of arguments, but it's all good. Being polarizing on social media, this might be helpful for somebody, is actually beneficial for your
No,
business.
it is.
A lot of people, yeah, they're walking on eggshells, always trying to say the right thing. I'm a big proponent of just being yourself, be authentic, show what you really think. And sometimes somebody might change your mind. Sometimes you might change somebody else's mind. But ultimately, what you're going to do is you're going to reject or repel the people that are not for you, and you're going to attract your tribe, the people that are for you, that's going to support you and celebrate you. And it's a beautiful thing. So from having the courage to go ahead and just express yourself on social media has laid the groundwork for, a business. Because as soon as I had an offer, I had a bunch of people that I didn't even know, they was waiting for some type of way to connect, to support, to do something more than just like a post. You know what I'm saying? So
Right. So tell me what's one of them topics that you're talking about get the crowd fired up. I want to know because
uh-oh.
I did learn from my mentor. He said the other day, because I'm very open and openly spoken about wellness. I believe in telling people, like, people don't know a lot of stuff about wellness, especially when it comes down to the gut. I've had clients that had STDs that was gut related. I have clients that, of course, stress related. It's a whole bunch of different disorders that goes into the gut line. So that's my specifics, and so they get mad when they hear that. They just go off. Well, why you want to tell me about an STD? Because some of y'all need to go get checked out. Y'all need to know. And so that's my topic. So I know, as a mindset coach and going through the stuff that you already went through, there's some topics behind it. So
Mm.
what topics get your audience fired up?
I mean, you always have, you have the run of the mill. Like, there's been a lot of things going on in politics and in the world
Right.
in the past years. So things matter, like Black Lives Matter and different
Right.
ideas around that.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing that's a reoccurring thing that has been coming up is people think I'm like anti-job, right? And I get it, I understand it. Like, they're like, to hell with you if you got a job or this, that, and the other. And that's not the case. But at the same time, 70% of people are working jobs that they hate. It's not it, right? It's just not it.
Got
And
it.
it might be it for some people, right? But
Right.
a lot of people out here, we're constantly talking about generational wealth, regular wealth. We're talking about changing our lives.
That's right.
A lot of us are complaining a whole lot and
That's
stuff.
right.
And there's solutions out here that entrepreneurship kind of fits the mold for.
That's right.
And when I say to kind of open your mind to look at things a little bit differently,
That's
look
right.
at your options, to find out that you do have a choice.
Mm.
People will argue for their own limitations, and I had to come to terms with that. Like,
No, yeah.
because it feels better to say I can't than to say I can, I just don't want to. Right? I don't want to put
Right.
in the work. I don't want to transform myself. I don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to say I can, but I'm afraid to. Right?
Right.
So they'd rather fight me by just showing them, hey, this exists. Like, this is an option. I'm just saying, I'm putting it out there. Yeah.
Right. But a lot of people too, like you said, that work 9 to 5, that are upset or not feeling, where they are. You put yourself there. And I mean, that's even just like entrepreneurship. We choose what lane we want to go down, and whether it's a fulfillment or not, financially or not. And then so we set these boundaries or limitations, and then we come to realize that oh, I don't want this no more. This just like if you was to start at a company and you're a receptionist, you don't want to be a receptionist. You knew they ain't gonna well when you got there. You didn't want to make $15-$20 an hour. You want to make, a couple of hundred thousands. Then what makes you put that bar there to limit yourself? It's got to be your mindset, man. It's got to be your mindset, and not everybody is built to be entrepreneur, and I'm sure it's a lane for everybody. And some people just need to have like small businesses or side hustles and stuff like that. But not everybody's fit to be an entrepreneur, because, like you said earlier, even as you were working a job, and even though you were like coaching them and staying up to par, you made enough money, but it still wasn't enough. Like, so, and that's with entrepreneurship too. They don't just, lie in a business.
Mm-hmm. Right, right, and it's those limiting beliefs that get us every time. I mean, I think that entrepreneurship is for anyone who has a desire. Now, the problem with that is not everybody gets the desire, because not everybody has the luxury of thinking big,
Mm.
of imaginative, of having a dream, of having
Mhm.
a vision, right? Because we're so in survival mode,
That's right.
we're so in our mode, right?
Right.
That we don't have the time to
Right.
what if, to
Right.
what if an afternoon away, right? And it's unfortunate. But if we do get to disconnect for a minute from
Mm.
reality TV, from
Mm-mm.
popular whatever it is on the radio, from the gossip for a second, from the battle of the sexes that's going on social media, and we get to ask ourselves one important question: what do I want? What do I want? Who am I? Is another very important question. If we get the 2 seconds of luxury to ask ourselves that question, I think a lot of us would say something that is in line with what starting your own business can get you to, right? But we
Mm.
don't ask the question because I think, even before we ask the question, we feel like we don't deserve it. We don't deserve anything. Like, we only feel like we deserve what's in arm's reach, what's being given to
Mhm.
us. And sometimes we don't even feel like we deserve that.
Mm-mm.
Oh
Mhm.
no, that's too much. I don't need that. I don't need all that. I can't take that. So it gets deep. It
It
gets really
does.
deep. It gets really deep, but it's mostly psychological, and it's mostly based on programming that we receive from a very young age, typically age 1 to 7. We developed all the meanings for life as we go through it, and
Mm.
we basically have a little smaller version of ourselves, a little kid version of ourselves that's kind of running the whole show
That's right.
behind the scenes, right? And it needs to be addressed. We need to give that kid a hug, tell that kid it's gonna be okay. We're gonna think big, we're gonna be big. And that's what I support people in doing.
I got a funny story behind that. Um, my aunt used to work at this place, and so when they go into the job, when she go to work every day, she say, "Oh, they made us do some crazy stuff today. They had us doing some crazy stuff today." And so every day she would come and tell us stories about her crazy day at work. And so she would like, whoever that kid is that's running this business, they need to get their mind right. Like they need to, feel love. Like whoever it was today, we went through a lot of stuff because of that person.
Hmm.
And so she would always say it would be the kid behind the business. And I was like, what does she mean by that? Until I became an adult and actually took a job, right? And so I was like, what? Like, they changed protocols, procedures, and stuff just in an instant. You like, I'm not doing that. No, I didn't sign up for that. No, I just came here to be a customer service rep. Now, you're not about to make me start selling. Nah, who put that on? No, y'all need to go hire somebody to do sales. And
Hmm.
so I remember that all the time that she said it's a kid
Hmm.
behind this business that's upset today. Like, and I was like, what? And so that goes into one of the mentors and somebody who I listen to. And he said he does that. He does like free sessions once a week on Instagram. And he goes into where are you right now in your childhood life?
Hmm.
So, and I'm thinking, wow. And all those childhood things that we do and we don't realize, we those same people to this day.
Hmm.
We just gotta hug it and love on it and nurture it and nurture it.
Doing
Because
good.
I had to learn the other day that this is a part of who I am too. Like I do mentorship, and stuff like that because I've been in business so long. I just fell into it actually. I mean, because it's come to find out what my mentor was like, what have you been doing all your life? What were you doing when you were younger? I was always helping somebody. So
Hmm.
it kind of helped me get to where I am right now. And I'm like, I've always been teaching. I've always been mentoring. Didn't know that I was going to be teaching per se dance because I've been a dancer since I was 2. Didn't know I was going to be training people fitness. Didn't know that I was going to be training people about wellness, but I'm still the same little old person.
Hmm.
Same
Yes.
person. So it is a mindset.
Right, right.
Definitely.
To the max. To the max. I actually, because limiting beliefs, right? And we
Mhm,
thinking
mhm,
that
mhm.
things are supposed to go one way and
That's
they
right.
not on that, or you can't do something
That's
because
right.
I wanted to know if it's all right that I give your audience a gift around helping you, kind of identify your
Yes.
right? So what I did was I created a PDF, right? It's 10 questions to help you identify and limiting beliefs, right? And that's always the
Mm.
first step to, overcome them and then find out what your dream life actually looks like. So I wanted to give that to y'all for free. Maybe I'll drop that in the chat here if anybody can access it that way.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's super dope. And what it's going to do is going to give you the PDF, but it's also going to give you a bonus, right? Which is
Sweet.
which is a one-on-one call with yours truly. And I want to know
Yay.
I want to know what your vision is. What are your goals? What are your challenges? And maybe there's a way that I could be a resource to anybody that's watching right now.
Oh, most definitely, especially from the story that you just told. I mean, you said, do y'all have a moment, but sharing the story, itself, would redefine, like it when you said those things, even though I've not thought of those things particularly, I've thought of times where I felt low.
Mm,
And so those things need to, since I'm thinking about it, it needs to come out and need to, yeah. And so definitely, I mean, everything that we do, it takes your mind. It takes the starting point. Like you have to make the decision.
mm,
So, like, of course, that was one of the biggest reasons why I wanted you here today, because I'm just like, you know what? We talk mental wellness, we talk, health overall, we talk fitness, we talk, all these different things, but we haven't dug into, like, for real, the mindset and know the story behind, people. We've heard different things as to becoming an entrepreneur, how you, become about it, how to start it, what you do in between it, what you're doing now. But also, speaking of now, tell me, as a mindset coach, what does your day to day look like?
Oof, it varies. It varies, right? So, I went through a phase where I'm just consuming all of this content on YouTube and I'm
Mm.
looking at all the gurus and all that stuff. I never even said before, but I get it now,
I
right?
know, right? Wait. What's your definition behind gurus? I want to know. Look.
Well, when I say gurus, I'm talking about like the slang term, not like the actual term. I know a
Right.
guru in the traditional sense is someone who guides you to your inner power,
Got
right?
you.
Your inner light. But the gurus, what they say is just a bunch of people telling you how to live your life on social
Got you.
media.
Got you. Okay.
And they're telling me like you gotta wake up at 4 a.m. if you want to
Right.
be successful. You gotta go work out every single day and all of this stuff. You
Mm.
gotta eat right. You gotta do all of this stuff, and it's super overwhelming. But I'm determined. I'm like, hey, if that's what I gotta do, that's what I gotta do.
Right.
But being that I didn't fully understand it, I just had a surface level understanding of it. I would put all of this stuff on my plate. I'm trying to create 37 habits at once, right?
Mm.
And when I miss a day, I'm beating myself up. I feel guilt, I feel shame, I feel anxiety, because if I don't do these things, that means that I can't have what I want.
Mm.
I can't be successful. And so my schedule back then was a lot different than the times
That's
where I'm,
right.
forget all of that stuff. I'm just gonna have full faith, and I'm
Right.
gonna, walk in alignment. I'm not gonna move until I feel motivated to, and I kind of ping back and forth between those. But it's just it's a forever changing pattern based
Uh-huh.
on what I'm experiencing in the moment, how I'm feeling. I think the number one thing is to honor yourself,
That's
right?
right.
Is to honor yourself and to realize that all of the different tactics and strategies that are out there, they're not a step-by-step plan that you have
That's
to
right.
follow. There is a million gazillion ways to skin a cat, right?
Mm.
I start looking at these different tools, these different resources as a buffet.
Mm.
Try them out, right? Try the chicken, try the gravy, try the mash. See what works for you. Put the right combination of things on your plate that works for you. So, with all of that said, I typically like to stick to a daily meditation, right?
Look, we gotta remember that. Shoot, I said
Up.
that might need to be a little program thing or something going on.
Yeah, yeah, and choose
Yes.
what sits right for you. But meditation is important.
Okay.
Meditation is really good. And here's something about meditation. A lot of us think that it needs to be 20 minutes, 30 minutes,
Mm.
an hour to be effective. You think you got to
Mm-mm.
breathe right, you got to do everything a particular way. But it really is, if you can take one conscious breath and
Mm.
return your attention inward for any stretch of time, you're meditating.
That's
So
right.
I'm constantly meditating, but I consciously try to sit and breathe and be here, get present and stuff like that. I like to go running, so I've been doing a mile lately.
Okay.
I might take it down to a half a mile just to increase my consistency,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But as far as my business is concerned, it's a lot of content creation on a daily basis, a lot of conversations. But I'm even dialing back on that now. I did a lot of one-on-one work. One
Time
one
to scale
one
it up. You've
yeah,
done enough.
one to many, one to many. So now I'm partnering with other coaches. I'm jumping on interviews and have creating content like this, and I'm doing master classes, right? So I'm going one to many,
Sweet.
and yeah, just making my time as effective as it possibly
That's
can
right.
be. I'm really excited, so that on my schedule frees up a lot of time, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So now I'm reorganizing the office because I'm gonna be sharing it with my baby girl when she gets born,
Congratulations.
December 2nd. She's due
Ah,
date. So
yes.
I'm spending a lot of time doing that, working on my personal relationships, and it's a blessing. It's anxiety inducing because
Overwhelming, yes, but
new
it's
devil for every level, but you
that's
get
right.
experience, with the feelings. So we get to roll with it, and that's where
Yeah,
I'm at.
because now your time is gonna be consumed in an actual baby. So I tell people all the time that my businesses are those are my kids, those are my babies. I had to nurture them, I had to push them, I had to grow with them. They had to grow with me, and things had to change. Had to rebalance and some stuff, take back, pull back, um, and fight with it sometime and everything. But when you have an actual little person,
Hmm.
that's a real job. Look. Now you back an employee again. By the way, I'm just letting you know. You turn it back into an employee. You can be a boss over here, but you're not the boss of them at all. Like by no means. So, welcome to the club.
Keep hearing
Especially a girl too. Welcome to the
it.
club. But yeah, so that sounds really exciting. So I can see you transitioning into speaking more and stuff like that, rather than where your time, is less consumed. I try to tell when I do mentor, I try to tell like entrepreneurs all the time that it's cool to be a service based. It's so cool to be service based because you want to feel like a service. You're getting your stuff out there. But once you've done enough,
Hmm.
now need to turn it to a product.
Hmm.
You are now the product of the company. You're not a service based company no more. You can't keep providing a service because that requires time.
Right.
Product doesn't require as much time. You put time into you do the product and it's done.
Right.
And now you can give it.
Hmm.
But if you steady offering services, now you have to make time for those services. And no matter what industry you're in, if you do a service, just like you just said, even making conversations, even taking time like this or anything, this is still service based. You still have to have time. So we looking for the time of no time. I need to be asleep.
Yeah.
It needs to be making noise like your phone over there. I need this what I needed to do. I needed to make that noise. Like that's where I am in my life right now. That's my mindset. Look, I don't live in limited beliefs. Give me everything that I need because I put out enough into the world
Hmm.
already. But yes, definitely. I mean, I like that because that sums you up as a mindset coach, rather than because I was trying to see like, how you got into it, but you jump right into the story because a lot of people look for those niches. Like you already knew what you needed to do because this was something that you needed for yourself. And I tell people that too. Like, what do you need the most?
Hmm.
And when you, whatever it is you need the most, especially in their industry, because we don't take them out of their industry, whatever it is they need, whatever made you build this business, what did you need from that business the most? You, like you said, be your first client. And then that ways you can show and tell somebody else.
Hmm. Right. Super important. Yeah, because
Yes.
it's about solving problems, and the best way
Mm.
to solve a problem or sell somebody on the idea that you can solve a problem is to solve it. At
To
least
solve it.
yeah, solve it for yourself, And when you get on a call. So here's the thing, and no shade, right? No shade to MLMs or anything like that.
Let's
You know what I'm
talk.
saying? Like, we get in it, and we're most of us, I'll go ahead and say safely 90%, at least 90-95% of us, we're getting an MLM. We want to make some money,
That's right.
right? We don't give a damn about the product. We don't give a damn about how, if we need to. And the thing is, they have products, but the product is never the focus.
That's
The focus
right.
is building the team. So we're like, you can make a bunch of money, blah, 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 it's an opportunity, blah, blah, but you haven't made any money yourself, right? So that's what shifted me away from that kind of space. I mean, there's a lot of great things that you can learn. There's a lot of mindset things. There's
It
a lot
is
of networking. You learn sales,
sales.
good stuff. But there's so much more, I think, that goes to building a business, a brand from scratch, not just a business in a box. That it kind of includes passion, an understanding, a deep understanding of what it is you're talking about, right? So that nobody can. Here's how I know that a lot of people, most people, aren't that connected, because the second you say something against it, they're flying off the head. Yeah, well, a job, a pyramid scheme too. We've all we've
Don't
all
have nothing else to say besides that. So even this is my thing too about that.
Mhm.
It's not their business.
Right.
So they don't care. I seen a lady online that she does some selling some stuff.
Mhm.
And at first I kind of was like looking up to her because I seen her background where she come from. Now she have her own real businesses that she started from scratch herself. But she got into this thing and now she's, with like a really big company. And so she told us like she gonna do some calls online, right? So she get online and she's going through her notebook and she's on live, like actually talking to people. Then all of a sudden, this lady online she was talking to, the lady goes, well, yeah, I was looking for you to call me, but I just want to let you know that my husband just died. And she was like, oh, okay, what are you interested in selling? She said this could help you bury him or get over the grief of him. Right then that day, this is what I want y'all to understand. Like he said, passion, of course, of course. But you gotta have, you gotta be a people person in order to get the people.
Mhm.
There's no way, like HE double hockey sticks, she could have said that to me, and I would have just overlooked it. You would have been called all kind of names if that was my husband. And I'm just being honest because you know why? This is another thing too. Not only that that's not her business and she don't care about the sale, she don't care about nothing but the sale. She's not in the situation that you're in. She can't relate to you. When those people sell those products, they're not in no kind of situation but to get money. They just
Mhm.
want money.
Right.
Some people do like their products and want you to do some stuff. But I also seen her on a lighter note. I seen her cry online and tell people her issues and her problems, set them up to go to a webinar. Why am I talking about this? Okay. Set them up and go to a webinar to they were expecting something of her. So say for instance, I got on your webinar because I want to learn more about mindset and you just produced us with a PDF form.
Mhm.
That's a product. That's something that I needed to take from this webinar or something that I was supposed to even be able to write down. The whole time this lady talked about her crying experience. Nothing about what she said, mindset. And
Mhm.
so I was left curious. So I knew something was coming at the end. So the end game was, hey, I want you guys to go and buy this ticket, this $497.
Mhm.
Now I can teach you about mindset.
Mhm.
But you could have just gave me some pointers. You could have led me to the well. Lead me to the well. Don't just leave me high and dry and I'm just listening to you and I'm sobbing with you because
Mhm.
of your story. I understand that. I feel the story. I didn't come to this webinar. You told us that we would come how to clear your mindset. Just one example, how to clear your mindset from whatever.
Mhm.
What you think about that?
Right. Well, I mean, there's there's a lot to be said. You know, when you come to a webinar, it's important to provide value, right?
That's right.
Your story might be one piece of value because people, especially cold people, right? They don't
That's
know you
right.
can of paint. You want to give them the opportunity to resonate with you, to
That's
connect
right.
with you, to see your humanity, right? And to kind of see you as an authority in this space, so
That's
they
right.
trust you enough to solve their problem. At the same time, it comes off scammy, and people are underwhelmed and disappointed when you just give them a bunch of story, a sob story. They're supposed to feel bad for you or something, and then what? Give you money? Like, if you don't actually provide value in the name of tips, tricks, and mindset shifts to live you live your best life, then it's all for nothing. So it's a very shifty place, and the coaching space very very west side. What am I saying? Like a western, it's a
Right.
it's the wild
Right,
wild.
it's a wild, wild west. I mean, don't get me wrong, everybody's technique is totally different, and I get that. But I was essentially like when I signed up for that webinar too, me supporting her, even though I should have stopped a long time ago, right? But me supporting her, on that level because I heard the story, what she went through and stuff like that. I wanted to see what she was going to provide as the process. Now
Right.
you went through these things like Coach T did. Coach
Mm-hmm.
went through something, so now I'm able to show you how I went through and came about.
Mm-hmm.
Um, even it could have been two things. There was nothing to take away from it. So even as entrepreneurs, I try to reiterate all the time, when you do your niche, your special niche, make sure it's of course evolving around what you do. Like as far as wise content, make sure somebody can get something from it,
Mm-hmm. Right.
something. And
Something.
not just you. I can see you. I can go online and look at you. I don't want to look at you. I want to learn something from you, but that's the reason why I follow you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that goes back into I know you got into mindset and stuff like that, and how you got in to mindset, and it's a deeper understanding now
Mm-hmm. Right.
because
Yeah, you get that backstory. You get that backstory, and it's also a really good way to help people come over their own limited beliefs. Because,
mm,
like, when you watch a movie, right, you put yourself in the shoes a little bit. Like what you said, I haven't had your experiences, but I remember when I had similar feelings, right? So by taking them through that whole journey, it's like, okay, this is possible for me. This is how somebody else can do that. Boom. Once you establish that, now where's the strategy? Like, what can I do next? Like, how can you feed me now that I realize that this is possible for me, which is the point of the story? What can I do to actually make it happen, and how can you help me do that? And I think that is something that's important to be given up front. Don't just tease people and say, give me your money.
$4.97, not $50. It would have been different because majority of these people in the room are probably consumers of the products already. And like we were just saying about, them just having the knowledge of selling and not actually being a part of the business. It's not something that they had to nurture and put together. So they don't have the answers. Like you said, they want to fight you forcefully and say, oh, y'all just saying that because y'all not doing it, y'all not making money. What is the next excuse? What is the real excuse? Your excuse is not good enough or rectifying nothing in my mind to make me want to be a consumer of you and your products, because just because you say you're doing it, oh, I might see it in your mouth. I might see you do it, whatever. But are you doing it? And then this another thing too. Most of them, and I know, you witnessed this too. Even if they take the products and doing the product, they don't live by that stuff. They don't live by it.
That's the thing.
They
Yeah.
don't live by it. So me personally, I don't care what product you selling. Like, I don't care if you selling lip gloss. This I think is from Mary Kay or something. And I was just supporting a friend, right? So and I should not be advertising nobody. Whew. But I was supporting a friend, just to get that. But she don't know nothing about that lip gloss. She don't know how they made it, what's in it, or nothing like that. And I'm a natural person, so I would like to know. But of course, everything we know around us, gonna have some chemicals and stuff in it. So even if she had a little bit more knowledge, in, I probably would have bought more from her, whatever, because she had more knowledge. But that knowledge comes from, like you said, the research, the
Mm-hmm.
work. and they have not done the work. The company has done the work for them. All they have to do is say, "You want to buy this," and you go on about your business.
Yeah,
I don't like that,
you're a sales rep at that point.
and
Yes,
that's all.
yeah.
Whether you like it or not, because that can end any day.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So now you're gonna have to transition to coming up with concept. So that's what I believe that she's transitioning now, even though she sells those products. I believe that she transitioning now into like her own little stuff. She's built an audience.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, the cold calls was out of control. You had no empathy, no sympathy, no caring, nothing. You don't even want to know nothing about me. I didn't even get to tell you nothing. All I told you was, hey, the reason why I haven't called or text you is because my husband, blah, blah, blah. And she went, oh, but are you still? She didn't say, are you? She said, but I know you want to make money
Mm-hmm.
and you interested. And I was watching it live. Oh, what in the world did I get myself into? And so from that day forward, I peek in every once in a while. I had to unfollow fast, but I peek in every once in a while, and so that's when I seen the crying and the tears and the da da da, and I was like, wait, you weren't emotional before? What's going on? And then it's because now you fell into something, and now you want the empathy from it. But all in all, it was just the whole story. The webinar was just about you, and there was nothing. You didn't even ask to speak to somebody in the audience, like, hey, what are
Mm-hmm.
y'all going through? Yeah. So I find that to be very selfish.
Mm-hmm.
This
Yeah.
industry is very cutthroat. It's, a lot of people are going down the wrong lane starting out in MLMs.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So we hope to reach some people and shine some light, in their hearts, because I know that they're doing it out of necessity. A lot of people, they just want something to change their lives,
Right.
right?
Right.
That's not wrong. I mean, but
Right.
the thing is, when you do end up getting into even the MLM, you get to transform a little bit. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
it varies from person to person. I'm not
Right.
gonna claim to know, but that person that is super empathetic
That's
is the
right.
person that has an idea that they want to share via their business
Mm-hmm.
that is bigger than them, that they're willing to put
Mm-hmm.
their livelihood on the line, that they're going full time.
That's true.
They're in the books, they're studying, they're practicing, right? Those are the people that are most empathetic, because they understand, they've gone
That's
there with
right. Go on
themselves,
through it.
right? They've gone there with themselves, and this is it's more than money to them.
That's right.
Although money is good, right?
That's
There's
right.
shame in getting some income, making some coin. Ain't no shame in that at all. But don't let it be the end result goal, because I
That's
think
right.
the end result goal, no matter what the experience is that you're trying to have, that end result goal is an experience, not just a material possession.
Right. And speaking of, I was listening to somebody the other day. That's funny that you said that. Like, money is not evil. Money is good. Money should flow through me. Money should come down from the earth and fly like the wind with the trees. Like, I want all that. Like, because a lot of people, that's the first thing they do say. They say, oh, well, I'm not in it for the money, but okay, but money is good for you to survive. Money is good for you to help your family. Money is good for you to be able to be mental stable when it come down to helping somebody else. Money can help you evolve to the next level. Money is money. Quit playing. So stop playing with the money. Like be serious about what you want, because I know you're a mindset coach. I'm pretty sure you believe in what you say means a lot.
Yeah. The words you speak are the house you live in.
What the look? You need you see, you just giving some gem. The words you speak
Are the house you live in.
is the house you live in. Okay. So he done dropped plenty of gems, y'all. I just want y'all to know where to find him. I'm going to definitely put this clip up so y'all can click that link for him to get that free gift that Coach T sent us, and you get on that free call with him so he can. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Look, put it on there then, and let everybody know, verbally how to find you too, Are you on mostly on Facebook or Instagram? Which one of them is your baby?
You would catch me on either one.
That's nice.
Yeah, real. That's the real answer. Either
Okay.
one. It
Okay.
depends on what their preference is.
Okay, okay. He said he's on both of them. He's on Facebook, Instagram as well. I'm gonna and TikTok and LinkedIn. Hold on. So yes, definitely. So y'all definitely have to catch Coach T and get all the information that he just shared with us. And oh, and YouTube too. Hold on. So we're gonna definitely connect all the dots together. Do you hear me? So I'm excited. To have you on for you to share your story, to share your knowledge, because we love knowledge here, especially wellness knowledge. We want some mindset, we want some emotional connections, and like you mentioned about relationships, take those things into consideration. And I wanted to see if you can drop us with some wisdom, with some knowledge, and let that be your outing.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Let me channel what's coming
I know,
through
right?
now. It needs to be said. I mean, what's coming to me right now is that if there is no enemy within, the enemy without can do you no harm. Right?
Mm,
What that means for me is that the game is played and won in between your two ears.
that's right.
Right, all in the mind. Right, everything is happening inside your mind, and
Right.
to take that one step further so that it's easy to understand and easy to consume is that yes, the external world is happening, right, and it's a lot of it is out of your control, if not most or all of it is out of your control,
Wow.
right? But what makes a difference is how you interpret it, right? How you interpret
Hmm.
what does this mean about you? What does it mean about your abilities, what you can and cannot do? You know, whatever that interpretation is, whatever that conclusion you come to is going to determine your next
Wow.
emotional state,
That's
right?
right.
And that emotional state is going to determine your next action. Your next action is going to
Mm,
your next result, right? It's going to at least play a role in what result you're getting. So it is tremendously important to be consciously aware of what you're thinking and how you're feeling, and to practice increasing your emotional intelligence and your communication with others, because that is the key of all keys, really. Like,
mm,
and it applies to literally anything, not just your business, but your personal relationships,
everything.
your professional relationships, your business relationships, your relationship with self. It's everything. So if you could just master self, right? If there is no enemy within, the enemy without can do you no harm. That's the politicians, that's the corruption, that's the racist cops, that's literally everything. So I think, that's what's present for me right now. So that's what I'm gonna share.
That is so awesome. Look, look, look. A lot of people have throw some gems out there, but we ain't thought about no enemy. Do you hear me? Because it's the inner me that has a desire to have a higher mindset. Okay, I think I threw a gem out there. Okay, I got it from you, Coach. I got it. I
That's
got it.
that's
I got it. I got it. So
let's
yes.
introduce our enemies to our energy. You heard?
Oh, wait a minute now. You talking LA talk now. So yes, you've been there long enough. I like it. I like it. But yes, definitely. I am so excited that you guys are seeing this live and seeing us on. And like I said, follow him. I'm gonna all the links should be there for you to see and provide. He hit us with some good gems and good knowledge. Go ahead and follow him. Go and check him out. Go book your call. Book your call. Look, I need to be on the call. Look, I done been in business forever. Look, my mindset is all right. Look, it's all right. Look, but it can always be increased. You can always gain knowledge, like you said in interview. You can a coach needs a coach too. So with that being said, thank you again for coming to the Wellness Plug TV. I hope you enjoyed your stay here and your time. And we're gonna tune out, but we're gonna see y'all later. Have a good one.